This is the Emmy Award-winning 11 News Close-Up with your host, Marvin Scott.
Now, we've heard much from those who lived through the glory days of Camelot and endured the horror of the assassination. But what about those who weren't even born then? How do they see JFK? Scott Reich is a 30-year-old author who tries to recapture the excitement of the Kennedy era and what it means to today's generation in his new book, The Power of Citizenship. Welcome. What is your generation? What do you think of JFK so many years later?
Well, JFK is somebody we learned about in the high school classroom and perhaps from our parents. I think that people look to Kennedy of my generation as this heroic figure, somebody who, of course, was tragically taken from us. But I actually think that our generation ought to know a lot more about him. It's not just the missile crisis or civil rights. It's the themes and values that he tried to emphasize so that we could be good citizens and tackle big challenges.
Now, he had the theme of citizenship. This is what you look at in your book. So what is it that the new generation really can take away from the Kennedy years?
Well, I think it's actually changing a little bit his big message. We know the famous inaugural line, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. But what I believe Kennedy means is that we need to be localizing that message. Ask what we can do for our town, for our family and friends, for our neighbors. So it's accepting that we have responsibilities to one another and that we have the power to make a difference, to do small things to improve our communities.
Now, from what you've read of him, what you've learned of him in the media and the history books, how would you rate JFK?
Well, there's actually quite a disconnect between some of the professional historians, which put him somewhere in the middle, and public opinion polls, which put him in the top 3 or 4. I would submit that the way he made us feel, the way he challenged us to be better, to push us to shape a bright future, is something that makes his tangible achievements more pronounced, and I think he's certainly a good president, somebody who's inspirational today and even 50 years from now.
Scott Reich, The Power of Citizenship, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.